Alrighty guys, Happy New Year. About a week late, but better late than never, I suppose. Hope you're all doing well. Today is the 8th of Jan. I did actually go out for a ride with, after you, no worries. I did go for a ride with some of the Sydney Infield Rider guys just a couple of days ago and did record it, but just been testing out this new camera setting with a new little microphone to see if I can do some vlogging, and it didn't really turn out too well, but that's okay. It's still a little bit of a work in progress, so I'm hoping that this will actually work a lot better today, so we'll see how we go. But yeah, I'm just going to go for a quick little ride up to North Head in Manly and back, or maybe a little bit further. We'll see how we go. I might even go, let's go down Manly beachfront actually first and check it out. Such a beautiful day. It's probably about 26 degrees, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon around Manly Beach in Sydney. Wherever you're watching from, I hope you're doing well. I hope you've had a great sort of end of year period, so, you know, celebration, Christmas or whatever you celebrate, and all the best for 2024. So let me know what you think of this current setup. I've just got the DJI Osmo Action 3. I think I'm shooting at 1080p, 60 frames a second, and I've got it on the ultra wide mode in rock steady, just trying to make sure I can capture pardon me, everything in here. I'm trying something a little different with the microphone. I've seen a couple of hacks because the Osmo Action 3 hasn't really been renowned for its audio capture. So what I've done is used a really old Samsung mobile phone headset, which had a good little condenser microphone sort of attached, and chopped off the headphones on it and just attached it as a USB-C straight into the camera. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not sure if it'll pick it all up. Might be too distorted, might be spot on, but we'll find out pretty soon. Beautiful day down at Manly Beach today, absolutely stunning. It's getting towards the afternoon, like I said, so the sun's dropping a bit, but perfect temperature for riding. Sightseeing, oops, got to remember 30 k's an hour along here on the promenade. But yeah, this is just more of a check-in, I guess, to say a bit of a Happy New Year and everything, and let you know what the plans are this year for the Enfield guide, because I have, as many of you have pointed out, been a little quiet in the last year or so. It's mainly due to, I guess, the COVID period for work was pretty hectic for me. And for some of you who may or may not know, I work in the financial services industry. I work for National Australia Bank. I'm a product manager for a particular product at NAB. I won't say which one, but that's okay. Yeah, we experienced a lot of growth through COVID, which was great. You know, kept everyone busy, but you know, at times too busy, and it was hard to sort of keep vlogging and doing things like this. It still is, but I'm on a bit of a mission this year, hence an early vlog for me in 2024. I'm actually turning 50 this year. Can you believe it? The big 50. Whoops. Hello, sir. Yep. After you. Take your time. So I'll be turning 50 in August, and yeah, it's a pretty cool milestone, I guess. I'm at a pretty good place for 50. Could be a few pounds lighter, a few $1 million richer, but that's okay. I'm grateful for everything I have and my family and who I am. But enough of that. But what I'm thinking this year is I'm going to try and knock out 50 videos. Now, for any normal YouTuber, vlogger, or whatever you want to call yourselves, one a week for a year is a pretty big ask. But I've got a couple of trips coming up. One pretty soon, actually, to Thailand with a mate. We're riding through parts of southern Thailand, so going from Phuket around to Trang and a bit further south, so heading towards the Malaysian border. So I'm going to be filming that and probably drop, you know, make about 5 or 6 episodes out of that. I've got another trip in April, which is going back to Thailand with the family, and I might do a few rides then and film those. And then November, definitely going to Motoverse this year. Try and stop me, I'm coming in hot. And that will be awesome. And I'll have a whole bunch of other things throughout the year that I want to film. Namely, sort of, you know, getting back to what the Enfield guy was sort of originally about, and that's, you know, doing things to bikes I own. And I'm currently down to, good problem to have, but down to 2 bikes, which is my 1961 Clipper and my 2010 G5 Classic Chrome Bullet Electra, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I pretty much call it a Bullet. So I'm going to be getting that back on the road, and that's sort of part of the reason why I've got this beautiful 650 Super Meteor at the moment. That Royal Enfield Australia were kind enough to loan me this for a little while, you know, a couple of weeks over Christmas while I get my Bullet back on the road, because it hasn't been registered for a little bit. But yeah, so I'm going to be making a couple of videos around getting that back on the road. I'm going to do a couple of product type reviews as well. Another big thing I want to do this year, and you know, I've been fortunate enough to, I guess, be in the Royal Enfield universe, as it were, for a number of years now. You know, the last 10 years. So I've been lucky enough to meet many of the guys and girls who were working within the design team of Royal Enfield, the marketing team, management. So I'm going to reach out to them this year, and I'm going to try and get a couple of one-on-one interviews, you know, maybe something around the 10 to 20 minute mark. Doesn't need to be overkill, but just to sort of get inside the minds around, you know, what makes them tick, and sort of the strategy and things behind Royal Enfield as we know it today. And absolutely we'll do one with Mr. Gordon May, who many of you may or may not know. He's the Royal Enfield historian, who's an absolute wealth of knowledge, all things Royal Enfield and motorcycles in general, but someone I'm proud to call a mate, and an absolute gentleman as well. So it'll be awesome to be able to sit down and spend some time with Gordon. And also another thing I want to do is spend some time talking to builders and different shops around Sydney and parts of the world, to get their view on the custom scene as well, and try and bring a bit of those insights to you guys out there also. But yeah, I'm just loving this weather at the moment. It's been great in Sydney. Had a bit of a rainy period before Christmas, but now it's just been, you know, well, ultra humid is one thing, which kind of sucks, but you know, you get over it. I'm kind of lucky with this jacket I've got. It's like an ultra lightweight. It's actually a Royal Enfield jacket that's fully armoured as well, and really breathable. So this will come in handy for my ride in Thailand in a month's time, and also for, you know, future rides in India as well. It's got all the elbow pads and shoulder pads and everything, and actually back armour as well, which is really important. So looking forward to testing this out in those really hot conditions. But the ride we're taking today is just up to North Head in Manly. From where I live, it's probably, oops, should have changed the gear there. From where I live, it's probably only like a 15-minute ride, if that. Pretty close. But it's beautiful. I come up here all the time. Good place just to, you know, gather your thoughts, come up with fam, and even, you know, bring up a bottle of wine or some cheese and bickies or a coffee or whatever, and just look out into the harbour and just, you know, really appreciate sort of what you've got. For guys and girls out there who are sort of watching this from anywhere around the world, maybe let me know in the comments below where you're tuning in from, and where are you planning to ride this year? What are your goals or plans in terms of, you know, ride goals? Are there any destinations you're wanting to get to? Maybe it's not this year, it could be next year, but what, maybe a bit of a bucket list. What have you got sort of on the horizon that you know, want to share with everyone, and sort of achieve in the next little bit? I'd still love to get back up into the Himalayas as well. I don't know that that can happen this year, but I've always been tempted, and I've been invited a couple of times actually to go on the Himalayan Odyssey, or Himalayan Odyssey, with Royal Enfield, and I've had to you know, decline because of work and probably fitness too. Like, I've got a bit of a goal this year to drop a bit of weight, and that's, you know, a personal goal, but happy to share that with you guys, not just for appearance, but just for you know, longevity, and just how I feel. You know, I dropped a bit of weight before Christmas, which was amazing, you know, about 7 kilos, and I felt so much better. But then as soon as Chrissy sort of happens and you start having a few beers and some chippies and all those things, it all sort of, you know, well, a little bit of it comes back on. But, you know, I've got a big plan this year too to get back into shape, so looking forward to that. Hopefully this microphone is working a treat now, but we'll test it out once we get up the top here, once we've stopped, and see if there's wind distortion or not. But it's a perfect conditions for riding today. Really pleasant. Just finished up my calls for the day, so lucky to jump out and have a quick squirt up the road. It's a really interesting place actually, North Head. It was used at some point as a bit of a, well, absolutely a lookout during the various wars. I won't go into too much detail around that, but you probably recognise this spot. I come up here all the time. Done quite a few shoots up here with Cam from Stories of Bike, also for My Plates and the Rider's View. It's a real, oh, and actually Ross from Bike and Talk as well, so it's a well-trodden path, North Head, for the old Jimmy Swan, the Adfield guy. But that's okay, you know, you go with what you know, and it's and if what I know is up here, then I reckon I'm doing okay, because it's pretty bloody beautiful. And you know, they did have a few fires up here. I'm going to say, you know, a year and a bit ago now, but it hasn't really grown back too much. You can see out there towards the eastern suburbs of Sydney, out to the CBD, Centre Point Tower. You can see the top of the Harbour Bridge out there. Out there towards sort of Chatswood and suburbs of Sydney. But yeah, the fire that cleared this out has really taken its time. You can see in there it's still very, very dry and burnt out. You know, which is terrible for the wildlife, but actually to get a view through, it's actually not too bad. That's being selfish and completely ignorant, but it will grow back. It'll just take time. So we'll pull in here and have a quick look and point out bits of the city for you guys who aren't local. Park next to this guy who's been so generous to park correctly, Nat. Okay, so we might just switch off here. So as you can see straight ahead out to here, there's towards Bondi, the eastern suburbs, coming around Sydney Cricket Ground. SCG is just about out that way there. That's the Sydney CBD with Centre Point Tower in the middle. You've got the Harbour Bridge, you can see poking up just over there. And then out to your right is around St Leonard's and North Sydney, and the Chatswood area around there. So that's sort of the North Shore of Sydney. And the waterways you see in there, that's Balmoral Beach. And the ferry comes out, you can see one just in the middle there. That's the Manly ferry. It puts from Manly Beach, or Manly Pier, sort of over that way, and comes across past the heads, Sydney Heads here, and weaves its way around into Circular Quay. So there we go. It's enough of a little show and tell history lesson of the Sydney and surrounds and Sydney Harbour. Like I said, I've always come up to this place. It's pretty bloody magic, so why wouldn't you? Drop me a message below too. Who are you guys watching at the moment in terms of you know, content creators on YouTube or Instagram? Who's really got you motivated or captivated to either create your own content or to you know, share with your friends? Because there's a lot of killer guys out there, guys and girls who are, you know, making some magnificent content in the short form and long form, you know, both YouTube and Instagram. I'm not quite on TikTok yet. I might have to ask my daughter how to get that happening, but I'm not sure that I really have the time anyway. But yeah, for me personally, I mean, I've always loved Rob from Throttle Down Under. He's a regular go-to, and Ross from Biker Talk, two of my favourites. But also Rob from Moto Feels, and yeah, those guys are, you know, probably the premier, I think, you know, moto vloggers in Australia. There's going to be a few that I'll leave out, not intentionally, but just having a bit of a brain fart. But yeah, let me know who you're sort of watching at the moment. It'd be great to pick up some new channels that I'm maybe not, you know, subscribed to, and join in the fun and watch what they're doing.